Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Spitball Media Podcast. We're going to be spitting out some weekly entertainment stories that broke this week just for you. I'm John Draper. He is Shaheen. Shah, how are you doing this week in the second week of February going into Super Bowl weekend?
I don't know much about Super Bowl, but I'm excited for everybody else to enjoy it. You know?
No Super Bowl for Philly. And of course, the king of the Midwest, the mayor of Burleytown, Mr. B. O'Brien. B. O'Brien, is Ohio still recovering from the Toby Keith unexpected death this week?
Oh, I forgot to remove my hat at the top of the hour for in memoriam. No, you know what's weird, man? I heard nobody say anything about Toby Keith, and as many people as I know that listen to country music, nobody ever talks about the guy. So I don't know if everyone thinks he's a douche, or maybe he's just been low key since back in the day when he was really popular.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard dick about it, which is surprising.
Shah, did you see the picture of Toby Keith with Raekwon from the Wu-Tang, who gave him a beautiful eulogy online because they were really good friends? This is not a joke.
I don't want to sound like a dick, but I didn't even know who Toby Keith is. So
Nah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, he's dead now. You don't really need to.
yeah,
know
let me
guys.
rest in peace. I don't want to sound like a dick, but is he the same guy? Sorry, is he the same guy that made a song with Nelly back in the day?
No, that's Dirk McTruck McFuck. That's him. That's
Tim,
him.
it's Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw.
Tim
Yeah, same
McGraw,
guy.
yeah.
Dirk McTruckfuck. No, I don't know. Toby Keith is a weird guy, but he just died. But people were pouring Bud Light in their red Solo cups, right? B show, that was his thing, a red Solo cup.
Yeah, Red Solo Cup. Oh fuck!
I never heard that song. I didn't know it existed. I know
I
know a
heard
lot
it
of white
so
people are in their feelings about it this week. But if you're joining us for the first time, you don't get the full show. You get like a short version, and then we do a bonus show for our pals over at patreon.com/Spitball Media. And for $5, Shah, I mean, this is a show that keeps on giving all year round, the Patreon.
Yeah, I mean, I used to compare it to Arizona iced teas, and used to say that like Arizona was the only thing that hadn't gone up, and Arizona is apparently $2.50 now. So for two Arizona cans, you can listen to our show all month long.
Yeah. The news broke. There was some Arizona iced tea sightings. B show where there were $2.50. Even the can said 99 cents. So thanks a lot, Obama.
Are we still using that one, Obama? Can we
Thanks,
still blame
Obama.
Well, you can't blame Joe Biden because that's technically elder abuse, right? The condition he's in.
No, but could think Joe Biden outlived Toby Keith. Like honestly, I think he was like 66, Toby Keith, something like that. He was in his 60s.
Toby Keith wasn't an old dude. He was like in his.
No, he was sick. He had stomach. He had a rare form of cancer. It's stomach cancer, possibly from all the red Solo cups. Who knows? Maybe that had something to do with that.
Probably swallowing the swill from his Copenhagen long cut, probably.
Yeah. But people, consider going to patreon.com patreon.com/Spitball Media. $5 a month. $5 a month, B show. It's just an affordable premium program package if there ever was one.
I love affordable program packages. Great.
I've had a long night. I can't get into it, but I've had a long 24 hours. But thank you to the many people on Patreon hanging out with us tonight. And of course, we got our pals in the chat room. We got Slave Cheeks, we got Joe Punches, we got Chris Matthews. Chris Matthews says he did get G-checked by Chris Christopherson. Yeah, I saw that. I definitely saw that.
We talked about that on the show at one point.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson's kind of that dude. Like, he's a big lefty, but he's also like a face puncher. But he did Beer for My Horses with Willie Nelson. Thank you, Chris Matthews. But I don't have Toby Keith feelings, but apparently a lot of people were very upset and a lot of people were happy. But then I saw Raekwon, Shah, from the Wu-Tang, had a picture of him and Raekwon golfing. And Raekwon talked about how they were really good friends. Isn't that amazing?
Very odd. I don't even know. How does that relationship start out? It's very, very bizarre.
I don't know. It's weird, but it's not a joke. Like it's on the Instagram for Raekwon. From the legendary Wu-Tang Clan. Shah, who's your favorite Wu-Tang Clan member?
It's a toss-up between Raekwon and Ghostface. Probably Ghostface.
I've seen Ghostface.
Probably Ghostface, then Raekwon, then Method Man.
Not You God? I might have to throw You God in there.
Nah. Then probably.
Shah, this is not a joke. There's Raekwon and Toby Keith. Look at this boy. He's not. I'm not even. People think this is a bit. It's not a bit. By the way, Playing Dead, our buddy Sam liked this post from Raekwon. R.I.P. Toby Keith, one of my good friends, the big guy. Oh, you cut it off, Bisha. I couldn't see it.
Oh, sorry.
I was reading
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's up.
it's Sam right underneath it, who I just did an interview with last night. This is a
nice.
true thing. Like, and then we'll move on. But R.I.P. Toby Keith, one of my good friends, the big guy. You will be missed, brother. Condolences to your family. A country singing legend. Salutes. And then there's Sam Playing Dead, giving him the high five. Wow. Look at that. Look at Sam in there from Playing Dead.
Shout out to Sam, dude.
What?
I said shout out to Sam. He doesn't give a fuck about like genre or whatever. Like he just loves music. To me.
Yeah, he was asking me when that podcast comes out next week. We was asking about you guys. Shah, we did 15 minutes on The Dentist all because of you. He was dying to tell you that. He loves
The Dentist is a banger, dude. I fucking love that movie.
Well, Shah, guess what? He spoke to the director. He interviewed the director, and they talked about it.
Nice. Who is the director? I always thought it was
Brian
Yuzna.
Yunza.
Oh, okay.
He did Maniac Cop 2, big horror indie director.
Oh yeah.
I always get him mixed up with Stuart Gordon.
Me too. I get him confused all the time. Bisha, Brian Yuzna, he's directed like bangers, right? Like,
you dropped Maniac Cop 2, and obviously that's
banger.
a really good one.
Maniac Cop 2, banger.
Filmography. I'm gonna pull.
Yeah, my favorite Wu-Tang member is Method Man, and then maybe You God, just to be different. And of course, Jizza. And how can we forget the old Dirty Bizza? Bride of Reanimator. He did the Bad Faust movie.
See, that's why I get them mixed up with Stuart Gordon, because Stuart Gordon did the first Reanimator, right?
Yeah, yes, Bisho, can you click on director though? Because I don't. That Faust movie is really rough. Let's see. He's done some classics here. Just wow, look at this. Okay, Beyond Reanimator, The Dentist 2, The Dentist. I'm just going.
Return of the Living Dead 3. That's kind of a cult classic.
Necronomicon. Shah. He did Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, which
he did Society.
Yeah, Society is a banger. Shah, you know Society, right?
Yeah, with the ass rip.
The ass. Yeah, the ass face. Yeah, instead of the gas face. Third base reference. But yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, you know, just it's a small world. All these things are interacting. My interview with Sam will be out next week on the Red River podcast. Sam Hoyos, guys, fun fact, Sam got kind of tricked into going to watch Royal Rumble all night last week.
Really?
Yeah, he watched the Royal Rumble. We talked about it.
It's fun because he hasn't watched wrestling since he was a kid, and every time
90, he said was the last Royal Rumble he watched.
90?
90. Yeah. It's we get right to it because I had to ask him. I was like, dude, I got to ask you that you watched the Royal Rumble because he told me offline. And I was like, that's going to be a topic for us to discuss. But shout out to everybody hanging out in the chat. Shout out to all of our friends in Patreon. Thank you for keeping the lights on. And, you know, we got a lot of stuff to get to. It was an interesting week. You know, before we get to the Larry David stuff, I just wanted to go over the Grammys with you guys. Now, Shah, you don't watch the Grammys, right?
Well, I don't have cable. I used to watch it, but I mean, I don't really have any way of watching the Grammys anymore.
Okay. Bisho, do you watch the Grammys? I feel like your wife might be a Grammy watcher.
No. She would like the music, but we don't watch the Grammys.
Okay. So most people I know don't watch the Grammys. Full disclosure, not going to get into it, but an old friend of mine was nominated for the biggest Grammy of the night, didn't win it. But that's another time for another topic.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it offline. Blast from the Past. Some people might remember who I'm talking about. Not somebody I know currently, but somebody I knew I used to play music with quite a bit that I you know, was close with, and then became a super famous songwriter. So that's the way the world works. But interesting story came out of the Grammys. I don't really know the full details behind it. I wasn't watching it, but Killer Mike, very sort of, I would say, underrated. Shah, where do you stand on Killer Mike? Do you think Killer Mike is an underrated MC in hip hop? He's mostly known for Run the Jewels, but he was on an Outkast record. You know, he was very big in Atlanta underground rap for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly know him from the Outkast record, The Whole World. I've never been a big fan, to be honest with you. It's not my type of music. I'm not big into Southern rap, to be honest with you.
What about Run the Jewels? You're not a fan of Run the Jewels? I
don't even know what that is.
That's him and LP. That's their very successful rap group that they've had around for like 10 years. They're huge.
Yeah. I'm not. I know he's a big activist. That's mainly what I've heard about him for the last decade. Sure. I haven't heard much music, so to see him win any kind of Grammy is actually shocking because I don't mean
won 3 Grammys.
That's insane.
You won every rap Grammy. Bisho, you familiar with Killer Mike? I'm sure you're familiar with Run the Jewels, right?
Yeah, I was introduced to him through Rogan, and I listened to one of his. I can't say a whole album, probably 3 or 4 songs from Run the Jewels. I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know any of his solo stuff though, but obviously he's
A
doing
lot
well.
of left-leaning honkies love Run the Jewels. Like that's like a Park Slope rap band. But Killer Mike, activist, very bright guy, always trying to do something like for causes. Super smart. Loves it. He was just interviewed on Bill Maher Friday. Sunday he wins 3 Grammys, and then the strangest thing happened as he was backstage doing the press junket for winning 3 Grammys. He was subsequently arrested and walked out as a perp walk at the fucking Grammys while the Grammys were going on. No one at the time seemed to know what had happened, what the charges were. And it was very strange. Shah, did you hear about this when it was happening? Because he literally had just won the Grammy, and then he got arrested.
Yeah, I heard about the security guard issue. Apparently he shoved a woman security guard or something.
That's what they're alleging. We don't know. Yeah. We should be careful there on a show. Yeah, he was taken away in handcuffs, all dressed up with his Grammys. Would have been fun, B-Show, if he had the Grammys in his hand with the handcuffs as he's being walked out. That would have been some gangster shit.
Just holding it, or trying to hold it without dropping it because he can't really get his hands around it.
B-Show, did you see that this was happening? It was kind of a big story when it was happening because it was very odd and it was all over social media.
Well, the odd thing about it was I think they said he was on the pre-show accepting his award before it was televised, and then he was backstage and was let out, and nobody knew what the hell happened. His publicist wasn't talking. He wasn't talking. And then Shah sounds like he knows, and you may too, but I haven't followed up on it. I've been kind of busy this week.
Yeah.
What actually happened, or do we not know yet?
Do we know the full story, Shah? It's just that's the charge, right? It was like an assault charge on a security guard earlier.
Yeah, from what I heard is that he apparently pushed a woman security guard out of the way. But I mean, I don't know what she did to him or how true this is, you know?
Well, according to the AP, it says his quote is, "As you can imagine, there was a lot going on. There was some confusion around which door my team and I should enter. We experienced an overzealous security guard, but my team and I have the utmost confidence that I will be ultimately cleared." So sounds, if what you're saying is true and what they're alluding to here, sounds like she wouldn't let them in where they were supposed to go. And maybe he removed her from the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange thing. I don't know that this has ever happened before in the history of the Grammys, but
no, it has. Remember Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yes, they were. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Busy Bone. Right. They came up for his arrest at the Grammys, I believe.
Yeah.
96 movie?
That's right. That's so weird. Wow. You know, it's so funny. Rap is probably the biggest music in the world, and they still don't put them on the show for the regular show B show. That's a little tacky, don't you think?
That's what I was thinking too. Like, here's a guy winning 3 Grammys. He's got a pretty big name. He's doing a lot for causes. He's always advocating for like reinvesting into black neighborhoods and stuff like that.
For sure.
And doing a lot of good stuff, and they stick him on the pre-show. Like that just sounds kind of weird.
I mean, dude, to be honest though, I'm pretty well versed in the hip hop world. No one talks about Killer Mike's music.
It is weird, but that's the thing, Shah. It's like the only people I see talk about Killer Mike are like the left of the, like, we're talking like vegan coffee shop owners. Like if you see a Run the Jewels show, you know, it literally looks it's the whitest audience ever. LP, his partner there, is a white guy. You know, but he was a battle rapper, I think, LP, for many years. He's a New York guy. Their shit's good. I like it, but whenever white people get really excited about a rap group B show, to me, that's low code for I'm probably not gonna like it.
Yeah, like I remember, I think I told you guys offline last night. I had a friend who was a metalhead, and him and his brother used to like record. They would basically rap over instrumental tracks from like Dr. Dre and shit like that.
Okay.
And they took it super seriously, and the brother's still, I guess, performing. But I don't know. There's something about white rappers, just the cadence.
He doesn't like the whites. Doesn't like when they rap.
I hate white people.
Shah, what's your take on white rappers? You don't like the whites very much. What's your take? Should the whites be allowed to do this? Do you think maybe we should stop this?
They should be allowed, but if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I'm not a fan of white rappers, and it's basically no. I'm being serious, dude. I've never been an Eminem fan. I can admit he's talented. I hate the cadence. I hate the way they rap. It's almost like I don't like nerd rap. You know what I mean? They like pronunciate everything super correctly.
That is a genre of whites.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not
You
a
know,
fan.
like MC Chris.
Yeah,
Who?
Nerdcore. Yeah, MC Chris. By the way, I saw that guy. Is that the guy who had the documentary Nerdcore Rising?
The only
Maybe.
white rapper I like is Millie's. Can you type him up real quick? Milly.
Oh, that's just because it sounds like your dog.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's because it sounds like your dog. I was just gonna
Well,
say
no,
that.
no. He got signed by Jadakiss, and when Jadakiss co-signs anyone, I'm like, all right, dude, let's give this guy a shot.
Who's that Sicilian guy that I always see? But he's got a 4-letter name. I can't remember. He's got long hair. He looks like a Fabio type. I don't know.
I'm
Millie,
sorry.
I've heard-
There's a Z at the end. It's not
Millie's with the Z at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I see him talking to that Adam guy, so this is probably
He's
yeah.
on
White
Funk
rap
Flex.
is weird. I don't know. Like, of course, I love Beastie Boys. I love House of Pain. But a lot of these honkies shot. They just probably shouldn't be rapping. Now, the Nerdcore Rising B show, the guy who they made that documentary about, which is a fascinating documentary. I actually saw that MC, whatever his name is, Front a Lot. I saw him because he opened for Wheatus, the band Teenage Dirtbag, and my friend is the drummer, or was the original drummer of Wheatus, and he wrote Teenage Dirtbag with his brother, the singer there, Brendan. And he did a reunion, and I went, and they were opening. So I had to sit through, Shah, about 10 or 15 minutes of nerdcore rap. I think it's MC Front a Lot. I've heard of this guy. I've seen him before. This guy looks like every one of my friends. I mean, this is like everybody I know. Shah looks like this.
He's actually nice though. I like this guy.
Yeah, I've never heard of him. I like that Malibu Bay Breeze shirt, and he's getting blessed by Jadakiss, so he's probably
Yeah,
good.
he's got Dave East right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Whoa,
That's
wait,
the
that's not him. No, that's not Bisha. We don't want that. We don't want any of that. No.
No, MC Chris was different. He's the one that did like Fet's Vet, like I'm Boba the Fet, like sounds like a super nerd.
Okay, yeah. Was it nerdcore? But it was considered nerdcore.
Yeah, it is. And I think did you guys ever watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
A little bit.
Man, my favorite rapper, MCP Pants.
Oh, wow, you did a good impression. Was that Squidward, whatever? The fuck's his name?
No,
Not Squidward.
Meatwad.
Meatwad. I get Meatwad and Squidward confused because I'm an adult. But yeah, that was an excellent voice, B show. But yeah, I mean, like, some of the look, I know a lot of white rappers, they're pretty good. But I get it. But it's interesting that like a lot of people were talking about Killer Mike. I was like, I have no idea who that is, and all I listen to is hip hop. Very interesting. Yeah, we should start our own rap group. That'd be cool.
I would almost bet anything that if you just played me a white rapper, I can almost guarantee that I can tell if it's a white rapper or not.
Oh yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Even Bubba Sparks, he was super Southern. What
about Paul Wall? Shah, I bet you're a Paul Wall guy.
No, I'm not.
Not? Oh, okay.
But I'm also not like a Slim Thug or a fucking Mike Jones fan either. I don't really like down south rap.
No. So you not only just hate the honkies, you hate the South as well as non-honkies.
I wouldn't say I hate the South. I hate Southern rap.
I'll say it. You hate the South. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't hate the South. He doesn't hate anybody. You know what Shah hates? Mean people. Right, B-Show? He hates mean people.
Absolutely. Zero tolerance for mean
and
people.
The whites. Anyway, but we're going to be moving on to that. Speaking of, this is probably Shah's favorite white in the whole world. Last weekend, we had the return of the king himself. Larry David returned to HBO for the final season, the first episode of the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. He has stated emphatically there will be no more shows. This is it. Now, I watched it. I'm not going to talk about the episode because some people might not have seen it. But Shah, you have yet to see it. Is that what we established offline?
Yeah, it's been a rough week. I haven't had the opportunity to watch it yet, but I'm definitely going to watch it over the weekend sometime.
Okay. B-Show, you have not watched it either.
No, I did. I tweeted you or texted you when I was watching it. That's why I asked.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm high often on the weekends. Sunday actually was a rare afternoon when I was a little fucked up. B-Show, what did you think of the episode? I'm just going to be frank. I was a little disappointed. I don't know why. I just thought it might have been, I didn't like the story that much.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, final season, got to start with a bang, whatever. And it was fine. It's Curb. It's Larry David. I like that they went back to some characters from previous seasons. Like, is that, what's his name's mom or aunt? What was her name? He got his glasses from her. They went to go.
Oh yeah, that's right. They went back to when he was with the blacks. That was Leon. Yeah, we don't want to ruin the episode, Shah, but there was one of the remember when he was dating Leon's sister, was his sister, his cousin Vivica Fox, the blacks. That's their last name.
Had cancer, yeah.
Yeah. Shah, do you remember that? It was like 3 seasons ago. Was it the New
Yeah,
York?
it was a whole season. It was hell yeah.
Yeah. So they brought one of those characters back, I don't know. I didn't actually care for it that much, Shah. I would love to see when you watch it what you think of it, but it's still Larry David. Now I should point out that whole day HBO ran marathons, so I was catching the marathons. There was actually some pretty good stuff in there from the previous season. Larry is back. But the real story was Larry was doing a lot of press for the episode, for the season, and he was doing a morning show. And Bisho, he got in a little bit of trouble, did he not?
He did. He got a little aggressive toward everyone's favorite 3-year-old little red Muppet Elmo. That was very surprising. It didn't have that on my bingo card for sure.
Yeah. So this is a bizarre circumstance story, Shah, and I can't believe you haven't heard anything about this. So we allowed to play. Let's just play the clip real quick if we can. Larry is doing it's like Good Morning America, and Elmo is on with his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Today Show. Excuse me. I don't know any of these shows. And then Elmo was talking about mental illness, and Larry thought this was so stupid. He went over and did this. Okay, why don't we play it real quick? What's echoing is crazy. Show. It sounds like a horror movie because it's echoing. We should probably. Larry assaulted Elmo on national television. Shaheen, you were not aware of this.
I was not. I don't know how I missed this. I didn't see anybody post this.
Yeah, Bisho, you knew what happened, right?
Oh yeah, I saw this when it came out, man. Everyone was losing their minds and shit. Like there he is, he slaps the iron claw on him, throws a couple cross faces.
Yeah. So when they came back, I guess Larry apologized to Elmo in character, and then Larry said Elmo was talking about mental illness. I just couldn't take it anymore. I wanted it to stop. Now that's very Larry David, wouldn't you say, Shah?
Dude, I was gonna ask you guys if you think this is staged, because that sounds like a skit. That sounds like a fucking skit from his show.
Nope. Bisho, right? This was absolutely not staged.
It's like he looks like he's goofing around, but no, it does not look staged or anything like that. Like he's just walking away, laughing.
Yeah, and if you see it in context, it's hard on the show because the audio, Bisho, but Shah, if you see it in context, you'll know this was not staged.
That impresses me even more because it shows you on the show. It's like the real Larry. Like this is how he is in real life. What he thinks is appropriate and annoying and whatever what we essentially all think, he goes out and does it and thinks it's perfectly fine and always, gets in trouble for it. It fires back.
So Slave Cheeks, this is the first time he's seeing this. Joe Punches said he knew about it. Chris Matthews, I don't know if he knew about it. Slave Cheeks wanted to know if it was WWE real. Marquise Johns just joined the chat. Shout out to him. And then we have a backwards Baron Corbin saying hi. I don't think this was staged. I think this was something he just did because he thought it was very stupid. His apology was very odd. It wasn't like a real apology. You could tell he was annoyed. But then this started a discourse that is so bizarre, Shah and B. I thought this might have been fake. There were people that thought this was great, that it was in character for Larry. But then there were people that thought this was kind of weird and maybe not like such a smart or cool thing to do. It's early in the morning. People aren't hip to Larry. Actor Will Wheaton, who was the star of Stand By Me. He was also in a Star Trek series for many years. Not a star, but he's been around a bit. Today on social media, or maybe it was yesterday, Will Wheaton lost his fucking mind, Bisho.
I didn't see this, and it's very surprising because, look, I know it was a morning show. There's probably kids home, and hey, honey, Elmo's on, and they see this like goofy dude cross-faced to Elmo. But honestly, if my kid was 2 or 3, they'd be like, "What happened, Dad?" They're goofing around. That's very easy to explain away. But do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it? The response.
I want you to read it. I want Shah to hear this. This is not a joke. So none of this is staged, as far as we can tell. There'd be no reason to. The show's taped. It's not. I'll die if this is a bit. This is some WWE shit. If this is a bit, I'll die. But just paraphrase it if you can be.
This makes me dislike Will Wheaton even more. I was told at a bar one time by a dude that it looked like Will Wheaton, and I lost my mind. So I heard about Larry David assaulting Elmo on live television, but didn't watch it until now because I knew it would upset me. Oh, come on.
Jesus.
He didn't have his wheatgrass shake that morning. Oh, holy shit. It's even worse than I thought. What the fuck is wrong with that guy? Elmo is like anyone who to me tweets comma like just to drive the point home, that's a little pretentious, isn't it? Elmo is like the best friend to multiple generations of children. In the Sesame Street universe, Elmo is a child who is currently putting mental health and caring for others in the spotlight.
Oh, God.
And Larry fucking David did ... that and thought it was going to be ... funny. What an asshole. What a stupid, self-centered, tone-deaf asshole. Full disclosure, at the time when I was growing up, my dad would grab me by the shoulders and shake me while he screamed in my face. Oh, come on. He
Yeah.
choked me more than once. He was always out of control, always in a furious rage, and always terrifying. I'm a 51-year-old man, and my heart is pounding
This is real.
right now, recalling how I felt when I was a little boy who loved Grover the way today's kids love Elmo.
Shah, your thoughts is, by the way, Will Wheaton doubled down on this when people started attacking him. If we could find that possibly, Bisha, while Shah's gathering his thoughts.
I think he's reaching a little bit, but I also see how it's super inappropriate for him to choke Elmo while he's talking about mental health. Like, I see why that's fucked up. I mean, I can't relate to what he went through, so I can't tell another grown man that's 51 if he should be having PTSD or not about how he grew up. I didn't go through that, so I can't comment on that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't want to comment on this guy because, again, I don't know what his life was like. Maybe he is super triggered by that. Maybe it triggered something in his brain. I don't know. But I'm sure a lot of people will pretend to be in the same boat as this guy that haven't probably gone through that and just do it for the sake of raging and going against the grain and going, well, not even against the grain, really jumping on the bandwagon of social media and just agreeing with everyone. But
yeah,
it is kind of fucked up, though. I mean, you think about like, what made him think that is appropriate? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
because he's Larry. Because Larry probably thought a puppet talking
Elmo.
about mental illness is really stupid. By the way, Will Wheaton had to protect his post because he's getting killed. He has 2.5 million followers. Larry David is not on Twitter. But Bisho, can you just rewind to what Glenn Greenwald said about this, which I think is so fascinating? Because everyone's weighing in on this. Glenn Greenwald, just scroll up a little bit. Sorry. Scroll. You'll see it. Yeah, this is Glenn Greenwald, the Star Trek actor and intrepid liberal activist. Will Wheaton posted a screed on Facebook full of rage towards Larry David for viciously assaulting the puppet named Elmo. I debated if it were satire for the first 4 paragraphs. When I realized it wasn't, I didn't want it to end. Jesus Christ.
All right.
I mean,
it's silly that it's a puppet. But you gotta admit, though, dude. I mean, would you do that? I would know it's inappropriate. Like, come on.
If I'm Larry D, I mean, Larry's whole thing is inappropriateness. That's his career.
Yeah, but
was
John,
celebrating him being inappropriate and real, and you know.
No, I get that. I believe me, dude. I love Larry David over Elmo. I didn't grow up on Elmo. I don't give a shit about Elmo.
Right.
I'm just saying, Sesame Street is not gonna cater to Larry's audience and be like, oh yeah, you can talk to us or treat our character any kind of way because you're a Larry David and you're in character. They're gonna protect their brand and be like, "Yo, this is for kids. What the fuck is this guy doing?" You know what I mean? Like, I get that stance a little bit.
I first of all kids are in school probably at that point. That's number one. I don't know that anybody. If a kid is sitting down watching the Today Show, I feel like that's child abuse.
Oh yeah, Hoda's terrible. I agree 100%. But there's a lot of like 2-3-year-old kids that are with stay-at-home moms too, so they're not in like daycare and preschool. And look, reading through it, it seemed, and maybe this is because I'm conditioned to think that all social media posts like this are performative. So maybe when I first read it, it's like, oh, come on. Shah's got a point. If this dude was abused when he was a kid and Sesame Street was an escape and he's thinking about this, because Sesame Street's done a lot to try to reach out to kids and try to teach them about shit
Sesame
like
Street. We all know. I mean, nobody's debating with Sesame Street what Sesame Street is.
But then for Larry to walk up while he's talking about, abuse, for him to abuse Elmo, kind of drove the point home a little bit. So I don't know. I get it.
I don't think it's a bit. I don't think it's. I think for Will Wheaton to make it about himself is a problem of a bigger social contagion.
Yes.
Quite frankly, which is something we all run into on social media. Not everything is about you. I just thought it was Larry being Larry, because I have a feeling Larry David sitting there watching a felt puppet talk about real life mental illness made him feel very like this is ridiculous. And this is also not Sesame Street. This is the Today Show. Is it the It's the Today Show. I don't even know the difference between these shows. Just want to chime in on some people who are talking about it. Slave Cheeks assaulting the puppet. Come on. If Larry flipped the bird at Elmo while he walked away, would have been hilarious. Chris Matthews, you should have maybe choked Elmo in that moment, and I wouldn't judge Will Wheaton for this, but I thought it was a bit. Puppet abuse is legal. It is a puppet though, Shot. Like it's not like he didn't like. I
But
understand.
it's what the puppet symbolizes. It's kids. You know what I mean? That's why people are sensitive towards it, because people are like, "Yo, this is a kids show. This is a kids character," and this guy, for the sake of his own character, came on and choked our fucking puppet. That's our multi-million-dollar fucking investment.
I mean, Elmo is bigger than Larry David, but also like I don't know, like Larry's a 76-year-old guy whose career we've celebrated as being an inappropriate character. He's not looking to make friends. He's not looking to put over any causes, as far as I know. He's a pretty low-key billionaire celebrity. I think Larry's point was, we don't know, and we might not ever know, was I think this is ridiculous that a puppet is talking about real life mental illness, and it's making me angry to the point where I want to stop this and bring some levity to this because it's really odd. I mean, he didn't do it on Sesame Street, right? He did it on a news program, with other people that he was on as a bit. He apologized sheepishly for it. Like, I'm sorry, Elmo. I'm sorry. And it's like, Larry, I accept your apology, Larry. And then Larry looked even more flustered from this. I don't really know Elmo that much. Again, I am a grown up. But Bisho, do you think this is over? I mean, I think Will Wheaton, regardless of what happened to him in his life, he made this about himself. And this is a part of a bigger problem. Everything is not about you, and the bad things that happen to you. We all can't tiptoe around the bad things that happen to you, because bad things happen to everybody, and it's an impossibility. I'm sorry that if this made you feel bad, but you're a 51-year-old guy with 2 million followers and a Hollywood person. This wasn't a mother going, I was deeply, profoundly upset that my 3-year-old was frightened and now doesn't sleep. This was a 51-year-old Hollywood person.
Yeah, and I'm saying I think that's why my initial reaction was like, "Come on, get the fuck out of here!" Because as Drew Yari is saying in the chat,
Oh,
Wheaton is
Yari's
the
in the house.
definition of a herb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we see this over and over again. I've seen it dying out a little bit, or at least losing
It's
some
dying out a little.
popularity.
Yeah.
But like, to the other point, when you go to Disney, those people aren't in costume; they're the character, and they treat it as such. Because when a little kid runs up, they're not trying.
Again, that's in the context of Disney. But if you're walking down Times Square in a Disney outfit and somebody goes over and puts a weed in front of you, I don't think that's the same as doing that in Disney World.
No, but I could also see the difference between, like, if he did it on Conan or if he did it on, like, The Late Show or something, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
Today Show, I don't know.
Well, Will Wheaton obviously was ratioed to death. He started protecting his tweets, and he is apparently a very insufferable person who attaches himself to everything. The fact that this is a good sign we're getting away from 2020, when rather than Larry having to leave social media, it's Will Wheaton that has to protect his tweets because he's getting abused. But we have a lot more stuff to get to, and I just thought that was fascinating. But Shah, when you watch Curb, we're going to have to talk about it next week. Another big news story that broke the other day, fired actress, former MMA star, and really attractive person, Gina Carrano, resurfaced again. For people that don't remember, she was one of the co-stars, possibly maybe the female co-star in the hot TV show Mandalorian. She was not renewed a contract. They were working on a spinoff for her because she would not put, I think, pronouns in her bio, and was very critical, and also made a very, very dumb comparison to, I think, COVID and the Holocaust, which is what a lot of, unfortunately, right-wing people do, which is just, I don't even know how to digest that. But Elon Musk is funding a lawsuit for her firing against Disney. Now, listen, I don't really have strong feelings about this. Gina Carano probably could have smoothed this over. I felt like at the time, and I think we covered this, Shah, at the time, our opinion was she could have just let this go and kept her good job and just kept on holding on to these values. But, she kind of poked the bear a little bit. But the way they treated her and the way the cast sort of and even though they all liked her, for I guess social currency reasons, they just abandoned her. Shah, do you think this woman has a chance? Because if she has if this lawsuit actually beats Disney, there might be other lawsuits. There might be other people who were fired from, jobs, because apparently Elon Musk has told people, if you were fired for free speech, I'll fund your lawsuit, and he's funding hers. And this could be a multi-million-dollar funded lawsuit for multi-millions of dollars. Shah, I know you didn't watch the show, but we do remember we talked about this a couple of years ago, and then it just sort of disappeared.
Yeah, I remember. I'm more so fascinated by Elon Musk, like associating himself with freedom of speech so much, like him buying Twitter. Wasn't that the sole purpose of buying Twitter? Because he wanted to keep freedom of speech alive on Twitter.
Yeah,
I guess
that was why he bought it.
Trump was getting censored and everybody else. I don't know, man. I'm curious to see what happens out of this, but I'm surprised he's fucking funding it. That's wild to me.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know that aspect of it till later on. Bisho, your thoughts? You remember we covered this story. I think we all kind of had the same opinions. Like, everybody should have been fired, but she also could have probably prevented this too.
Yeah, she made it a persecution complex, and I listened to her do an interview about this last night after I was done working. She said something about how there was other people around her who were doing other things or saying other things online, bashing certain other groups of people, and everything was cool. And then she put stuff up that's kind of thinly veiled, and like the Holocaust thing was stupid, but it wasn't. She wasn't ragging.
No, and it wasn't anti-Semitic. I mean, compared to what to other things that are happening right now, my God, I mean, this would be on brand.
Right? She was trying to say
today should be fine.
She was trying to say that, it wasn't something that people were surprised about. People just went along with the narrative and went along with things. And that's silencing dissenters is the same thing. That's what happened with questioning COVID. Not exactly the same thing. Very bad comparison, but she wasn't being anti-Semitic, at least from what it seemed.
Yeah.
Then she said she was willing, after her beep, bop, boop pronoun post.
Yeah, I remember that.
That, she said that she was willing to sit down and talk to the people that were supposedly offended, but instead they wanted her to get on a Zoom call with like 40 or 50 other people.
Yeah, to get yelled at by 50 different people. Yeah.
So as all this is going on, they fire her, and she was supposed to get a spinoff. It was Rangers of the New Republic, and she was going to be the
star. Yeah.
So it cost her that. And then I think the thing that sealed the deal was they went on X or Twitter, and whoever it was, an unnamed person from Lucasfilm, tweeted, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Well, so if she fucked with trans people, that's a fair statement to say. But she wasn't really fucking with Jewish people or being anti-Semitic, and to paint it as such is, I guess, an issue with her. So, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, I don't know if we covered it, Elon Musk was talking on CNBC and specifically called out Bob Iger and Disney and told Bob Iger.
I thought, he told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because they were talking about, well, what if you lose sponsors? And he's like, don't sponsor me. I don't want your money. Go fuck yourself. And he said, hi, Bob. So this is a big thing. He obviously there's other ones that may be coming because they're alluding to him backing other people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't get the whole thing about like waging this war and then demanding your job back. That just doesn't seem like a good work environment to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in the case because, by the way, Chris Matthews is saying she fumbled the bag more than Velveteen Dream. Kevco TV. Oh, what's up, Kevco? The fact that she was told to stop it I didn't know she could win the lawsuit because she wasn't listening to her bosses. And that's my thing, too. I don't think she should have been fired. I don't think she should have been put in a firing squad for people to yell at her for not being on board with the ideology. But she also could have stopped it. That's all. She could have stopped it. She chose not to. She martyred herself to make Ben Shapiro Westerns, and that's not paying the bills. I will say this, smoking hot. I mean, can we all just agree, Shah? That is a good looking woman. Would bang if I was in the banging category. I am retired from outside banging, but I remember her when she was an MMA fighter. I mean, dude, she's aging nicely, Shah. What do you think of her? She looks good.
Yeah, she looks good, man. You're a former banger.
Yeah, like in my banging days, I would make this a priority. She's got to be in her mid 40s, like early 40s now. My goodness, Bisho. Not ugly, as I say.
No, and what's funny is some people, it's the old Bender line from Breakfast Club. Some people look like they were born to be fat, and when they're skinny, it doesn't look right. She looked good thin, And then
Yeah.
when she filled out, when she got into her
Oh,
30s, like,
she
holy
looks good.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is a woman who should be getting work just based solely on her attractiveness. I'm sorry.
Well, the weird thing too is she said they tried to make her out to be an alt-right extremist. Freudian
Yeah.
slip there.
Yeah.
But then the first movie she did was like a school shooting movie with the Daily Wire. So
No, she did a Western, I thought, or something like that. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
oh, I
she's
thought
got a
she was
husky ass voice too. She's got a husky ass voice. I remember she was in MMA. She was hot then, hot now, and that's really ultimately. I think that's all that matters. I don't really know what could be more important than being attractive, quite frankly. Damn, yeah, she's never going to be ugly. You know what? She might not win the lawsuit, but she's never going to be ugly. And I think and at least she's got that going for her, and that's nice. That is nice. She was a great fighter too. If nobody's ever seen her fight, she didn't make it to UFC. She was already kind of done in Hollywood at that point. But she was a phenomenal fighter. I mean, she was walking through people in the MMA world. Yeah, she did a Hunter Biden movie. Yeah, she does like right-wing crazy movies. But look, if that's her beliefs, she's entitled to do that. Half the country has these beliefs. Or
But
at
no,
least
that's what I'm saying is like she said they made me out to look like a crazy alt-right extremist. And then the first
yeah.
movie she does, maybe it was the only option, but the first movie she
Yeah,
does
well,
is
she's gonna get a job. No one's hiring her.
a Daily Wire movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Shah OnlyFans? What are you thinking?
I mean, she's not really my type, but I'm sure millions of people would probably subscribe to it.
Yeah, that'd be
OnlyFans
something.
fucking making people millionaires left and right, dude. Like,
I know. It's making like former baristas millionaires. It's just not
yeah,
right.
makes you just hate your life, man. It's
Makes you
just
just yeah. Thank God most of mine is over. According to the internet, I'm 65. I don't got much time left. But
I thought you were 45 according to the internet. They
no,
just can't
a
get
couple
you
of weeks
right
ago
there.
I was 40. Now I'm 65. I don't know if you guys knew that. I went from
You got
40
the
to
reverse
65.
Benjamin Button disease, man.
Yeah, I got reverse Benjamin Button disease. Yeah, and I did think it was shitty that all these people liked her when she was there, but were afraid to speak up for her. It's very cowardly. Like I like Pedro Pascal and all that, and I love Katie, but like Katie Sackhoff, I'm talking like she's my friend. Uh, you know, but ironically, B show, I would probably pick Katie Sackhoff over Gina Carano, and I know I'm going to get a lot of people, shitting on me, but yeah, she's hot, and that's all that really matters. And really, what else does she need? She's got money. She's hot. She can make these right-wing movies and whatever that'll pay her Hulu subscription. But we want to stick with Disney. There was some interesting Disney stuff that came up because this is on the wow. She's in sick shape too. My God. A couple things with Disney. Bob Iger, who we were just talking about, was being approached about the Marvel franchise. And Shah, your favorite franchise of all time. I mean, it's probably your second favorite next to the Lord of the Rings, right?
yeah. I'm ride or die, man. Ride or die Marvel fan.
What is it? Your all-time favorite franchise? You think like the Marvel U?
Probably Star Wars #1.
Star Wars. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Then Marvel. Then Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, or Harry
You know what's
Potter.
funny, Shot? You would love Lord of the Rings. I bet you that would be the one thing you'd be like,
probably
"Dude, it's dope."
would.
You would love it. You'd probably love it. Bob Iger, B show. We come up with this comes in the news feed every now and then with the Marvel woes, and this seems to sort of solidify what a lot of the pulse of what people were saying about comic fatigue and that Shah's opinion of this is actually a very popular opinion. It's not a fringe opinion anymore. Bisho, can we get to the quotes? Can you read what Bob Iger was talking about, what they're going to do going forward with the MCU?
Yeah, I saw the headline. It said Bob Iger admits, according to comicbookmovie.com, Marvel Studios has lost focus, will lean into sequels and franchises going forward.
Yeah, he's talking about secondary characters. I think he wants stronger franchises and reduced releases. Bisho, wasn't that it?
Yeah, I'd say we're leaning a bit more into sequels and franchises. I think given the environment and given what it takes to get people out of their homes to see a film, leaning on franchises that are familiar is actually a smart thing. And our zeal to greatly increase volume partially tied to this wanting to chase more global subs for our streaming platform, some of our studios lost a little focus. So the first step that we've taken is that we've reduced volume, we reduced output, particularly in Marvel.
Yeah. So Shah, what he's basically saying is you're going to see less of this shit. And the shit you're going to see is going to be the bigger shit and not some of these tertiary characters. Shah, do you think if they dropped like 2 movies a year, would that be? Do you think that could clean the slate here, or do you think it's just done and that's just it, and it's only going to go downhill from here?
Oh man, I think they burned themselves out, dude. Everybody seems to be complaining about Marvel. Like every YouTube reviewer I've seen, everybody's tired of so many Disney shows. And from what I hear, you have to watch these Disney shows to really appreciate the movies they put out in theaters, which they're all interconnected, and it's just too much content, man. Entirely too much. Like with WWE, right? When they started doing 70,000 shows per week, it just became overwhelming. That's why I checked out of wrestling, other than, my obvious terrible experience with it personally. But aside from that, it was just the overwhelming amount of wrestling that was on television. It's too much to keep up with, dude.
Yeah, and it still is. B Show, can they clean it? Can this get back on the track that it was, or is this just the new world? They'll make some films, they'll lose some money, they'll make some money, but we're not going back to the hype of Endgame and Infinity War and things of that nature.
Well, I think that has to happen naturally, which is why none of these secondary characters really took off. I mean, Iron Man was a phenomenon. Spider-Man was already in the lexicon and it ended up getting big. A lot of kids like Spider-Man. And then you've got the other ones. So as you start building these franchises independently of one another, then you bring them together for the big super team. But I think they're missing the boat a little bit. I think instead of really taking time to develop good secondary stories and to build these secondary characters, maybe alongside like Black Panther, right? I know they can't really do that right now.
Well,
But
yeah,
Black
that
Panther
was a
getting
unique
popular,
situation there.
but it was getting popular, and then they folded that in with the rest of the MCU, and it didn't seem like they were trying to force it because it was a natural thing. Then they came out with She-Hulk, and then it was WandaVision, then it was Miss Marvel, and it's just all this shit that people don't really, the general public doesn't care about because they have no connection or affinity to it, trying to make it stand on its own as opposed to keeping it a part of a bigger universe and maybe doing spin-offs. And
Yeah.
I think like I get the marketing campaign because it's why movie companies have made reboots and sequels for the past 50 years. It's because you and your brother or your sister, you went to go see a movie, you know the name Superman, you've heard of Batman, it helps them get through the clutter of marketing because there's so much shit out there. But I also think, like, look at their lineup for 2025. Captain America, Brave New World, Fantastic Four, Zootopia 2, Avatar 3, Toy Story 347.
This is 2025, not 2024. This is
Sorry,
2025.
2025. So their whole slate is redos, reboots, sequels, whatever, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But I also think they're missing the mark because the problem wasn't necessarily there was too much, but the problem wasn't necessarily that people just didn't care about the secondary characters, is they didn't make people care about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, one of the things that came up, Shah, which is interesting, is, for example, if there was going to be a TV show about deathmatch wrestling, and you were like, "Oh, that's interesting. I wonder who they got to write for that," and you find out it's six people who never saw a deathmatch, never wrestled, don't know what deathmatch wrestling is, but they get to write the show about deathmatch wrestling because they check off other boxes for social credit scores. Don't you think that's destined to fail rather than hire deathmatch wrestlers, which is what has been exposed in the comic industry? They've now just hired everyone and anybody for reasons other than the fact that they're related to comics. There's a whole thread of people who've made all these other movies that you've never heard of that didn't do well, and they all said the same thing. I never read the comic. I never read comics. I never heard of the character. I never read comics. But do you think that's part of it, Chad? Do you think maybe if they actually had people who liked something, like I said, like this deathmatch analogy for you, because you know a lot about death matches, even though you cannot watch it. Well, how would you feel if you heard tomorrow that there's going to be an HBO Max show about deathmatch wrestling, but it's the writer from some kids TV show, or the guy who directed some Amy Schumer movie is going to direct the deathmatch wrestling show?
Well, ironically enough, great analogy, because ironically enough, Vice did that. They did a couple on death matches. And the people they interviewed were fans that had just been around for a year or two. I'm like, dude, like, there's so many people here that were attending CZW since day one. Not me personally. I started going in like 2011 maybe ish. But I went for pretty much a decade straight, almost every weekend. Not every weekend, but like at least once a month.
Almost every weekend. Yeah.
And seeing people that just, because when you're in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area with these shows, you get to know all the people. The front row, everybody. The second row,
it's the same people, right?
Whether you
It's
like
the
them
same.
or
It's like
not.
the old ECW shows. It's the same people, right?
Exactly. Whether you like them or not, it's everybody that attends, so you pretty much have a timeline in your head of when people started attending. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And a lot of the people that are still around or get interviewed for these Vice and Dark Side of the Ring on Deathmatch Wrestling, a lot of those fans that they interviewed, I know them, but I wouldn't personally interview them because I know how long they've been attending. There's guys that have been much longer than me and them that they should have, So I get that, but it's probably. I mean, I can definitely see that contributing to the failure, that people just, they know it's not genuine. This is like a research.
Right, they can tell
topic.
from the
This
product.
is not. Yeah, this is not something.
Yeah, and by the way, Shah, I forgot. I think I saw that Vice show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw
I
that
was there
show,
for
and
it. Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember seeing you, but I remember seeing the
Yeah,
show.
I wasn't on camera. That was,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I remember they came in with their drones and they told everybody, when to cheer and all this shit, what kind of shots they were trying to get. Yeah.
So poserish. I just want to read some comments in the chat there, then we'll move on here. We have Kevco TV saying they're following what James Gunn said about DCU is doing output wise. You see 2 or 3 TV shows, and he was talking about the Marvels. You had to see 2 or 3 TV shows to understand what was going on. Absolutely, that should, even comic books. When you used to buy a comic book in the beginning, they would tell you what happened in the previous comic book. Slave Cheek said no comment. I never saw any of these Marvel movies when Disney bought them. Comic book movies not my thing. I guess too much of these movies and people burned out. Backwards Baron Corbin said too much. And then lastly, Kepco, he's saying that should have come out a few weeks later at Thanksgiving. People were out of school. This is why the Marvels movie bombed. There's a lot of reasons why that movie bombed. But speaking of bombs, last week, a very big budget film that I had seen the trailer for 6 times from 6 different movies, from being an avid moviegoer, from director, I think, Matthew Vaughn, who may have done the first Kick-Ass. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look him up. But it was a very, very star-studded affair. A lot of stars in this movie. Sam Jackson is in it. The guy used to play Superman. Be sure we just pull it up. I can't remember. Ron Howard's daughter, Bryce Dallas Howard. And it's called Argyle. It's a spy PG-13. John Cena's in the movie, by the way. It's a PG-13 film directed by Matthew Vaughn, Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Ariana DeBois. That's an Academy Award winner. Sam Rockwell is an Academy Award winner. 2 Academy Award winners. Bryan Cranston, Samuel Jackson. My goodness, Rob Delaney. Catherine O'Hara, the great Catherine O'Hara. My God, a lot of famous people in this movie. Dua Lipa. This is, I think, her first big role as an actress. And the strangest thing happened, guys. It bombed. I mean, bomb. It has a 33% Rotten Tomatoes score. Bisha, what did it lose at it's a $200 million star-studded affair. What did it lose?
It opened with 18 million in ticket sales. I haven't heard much after that, so let's see.
This is going to lose like $100+ million. And people are curious why this flopped. Now, there are people that were saying they didn't know what the movie was about. It's basically a very kind of dumb premise. It's about a woman who writes spy novels. Now, here's an interesting thing before I move forward. 33% critics, 71% audience score. And I feel like we're seeing this, guys, all the time, Shah. I feel like this is the thing now. When critics hate a movie, people are still enjoying it. It's not necessarily affecting the box office that way. But anyway, this is a spy movie about a woman who writes spy novels about a fictitious person. But it turns out like everything she's writing is coming true in the spy world, and they bring her into the spy world. And I'm just going to spoil the premise because there's no reason not to. The spoiler alert is she is the spy, but she doesn't know it because she has amnesia. This is very douchey premise. No one is going to see this movie. There's very famous, talented people in it, attractive people in it. Shah, why do you think no one, years ago, this movie would have made a lot of money. People would have wanted to see it. Why do you think this is? Now, why is this failing? Can't be because it's just shit. It's got to be more to it than that.
I think a lot of these larger budget movies are failing, man. I mean, after Killers of the Flower Moon, like I'm surprised, like Napoleon, a lot of these movies that you would expect to do well.
Ferrari bombed.
Yeah, but even that was on a smaller scale. I don't know. I guess I'm associated with
100 million. I think it was $100 million movie, Shah.
Was it?
Ferrari.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty sure. This is $200 million movie, Shah. You can't take in 18 million at the box office.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, that's a huge L. And he's got Samuel L. Jackson in there. You know what I mean? Just that alone.
Yeah.
I feel like that has a cult following.
There's a lot of big names in this. Bisha, why did this movie fail?
I think it goes back to Bob Iger. There's so much out there, and they're competing for some attention with everything going on. When I saw the trailer, it didn't look all that interesting. It looked kind of like stylish or shot well, like the color schemes and stuff were good, but it just seemed like a douchey, almost a Lifetime version of a spy movie in a way.
It did look very PG-13, Bisha.
Yeah. So I don't think it appealed to enough people that like action, and I don't think it looked appealing to enough people that like that rom-com type of shit. So maybe it wasn't fish or fowl, and people just didn't like it.
Well, Kevco TV saw it. Okay. I'm going to read for Kevco TV. Thank you, Kevco. I saw it, really suffered from PG-13. Vaughn is at its best doing R-rated stuff like this. Look at Kingsman and Kick-Ass. Yeah, Kick-Ass is great. The Kingsman movies are very good. The first one was very good, just like the first Kick-Ass was very good. Guardians was the only $200 million film last year to turn a profit, guys. Holy shit, Shah. Can you believe that? Only one. There was a bunch of $200 million movies and only one turned a profit, and that was the very successful Guardians 3, which was phenomenal. It made almost $1 billion. But even that made less than the previous Guardians. Shah, there's got to be something to this. They got to start looking at this, right? Don't you think these $200 million movies are not making the money that they should be making?
No, I mean, the only successful ones that I can think of last year really was Barbie, Oppenheimer. How much did the Nintendo movie cost? The Super Mario movie?
I think it cost $80 million and it made $1 billion.
Yeah, that made $1 billion though.
Whoa. Good Lord.
That definitely actually made $1 billion. I remember that.
Yeah, it did make $1 billion. It absolutely made $1 billion.
There's still movies making money. It's just, it's very hit or miss, and it's kind of random which ones are gonna do so well.
It does seem a bit random. Don't you think so, Bisho? I will ask you guys this. Let's say you saw the trailer for this movie and instead of PG-13, it was an R-rated movie. So that means it's probably got a little titty in there. It's got a lot of cursing, a lot of like maybe John Wick levels of violence. Bisho, that movie automatically makes another 30, 40 million, at least 20 million, doubles the box office, don't you think, right then and there?
I think so, because you can't really do like even what is it? Mission Impossible. I think those were even rated R. You can't really do it's almost like PG-13. When was Mission Impossible PG-13?
Oh yeah, I think I'm almost positive. One of them might have been R. I'm fairly certain the most recent one was PG-13, which is a two-parter.
Oh, I meant the original. Sorry.
The OG. No, PG-13. PG-13.
But see, it's wild. I don't know. Maybe there's just too much going on, and it's kind of funny. Last year makes Bob Iger's point with movies like Argyle. But if you think about the three biggest movies of last year, what were they? Oppenheimer, Barbie, and Super Mario?
Yeah, then Guardians, and yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Guardians. So it's a mixed bag.
Spider-Man.
So yeah, 3 of them are franchise properties. The other 2 that made buku bucks are...
And 2 of them are cartoons.
That's
2
true.
Of them are cartoons. Yeah.
And Barbie is a worldwide renowned, recognized brand. So I guess the only original movie that did really well was Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Chris Matthews says, I thought it was about the cat. They had a CGI cat. Kevco said he loved the cat. I thought the cat looked very fake. The CGI. I saw this trailer so many times because they played an Elvis song in it. And I love Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell is understated. This guy's great. And my father loved Sam Rockwell. My father got me into Sam Rockwell, actually. That's no joke. Bryce Dallas Howard's not a movie star. Sorry. I mean, she's just not. And tertiary, you have ancillary John Cena, ancillary Sam Jackson, Shah. Nobody wants to see ancillary Sam Jackson or John Cena, right? At this point, they want to see him in a more prominent role.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, I mean, you haven't seen it yourself, have you?
Have I seen this movie? No, I had when I saw it was PG-13, I didn't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that just turns me off on its own. But, I'm not a John Cena fan, but I mean, you definitely, he's a big star. Definitely want to utilize that guy well. Yeah. Are you surprised how big he got as far as movies?
Yes. But Shah, if you watch his TV show on HBO Max, Peacemaker, his charisma is off the charts. It's R-rated. It's a half-hour adult comic book show with James Gunn producing it. It is filthy, hard R, violent. He says crazy shit in it. And it's a whopping success. It's an absolute whopping success because
what's
think
insane to
he was
me?
able to be that.
I couldn't stand John Cena as a wrestler, and I love The Rock as a wrestler. Yeah. I hate The Rock as an actor, but I don't dislike John Cena as an actor.
I feel like a lot of people are saying that.
Completely backwards.
Yeah, I know people like my brother Mike or or Sam Hoyos that my brother Mike obviously is a super comic guy. Sam Hoyos is not a big Marvel U guy. My brother Mike is not a Marvel U guy either, by the way, not even a little bit. And he'll say that immediately. They couldn't believe how great they loved that show and how great John Cena was. And B Show, have you watched Peacemaker? It's brilliant. Like you will not regret watching this show. It'll be like one of your favorite shows.
No, but I saw him in that Suicide Squad movie, which I thought he was good in that, but I also thought that was because the guy was kind of a charisma vacuum doofus, douchey, I want to be Captain America type of guy. So it
He's
worked.
this on 10 in this, but
Okay.
inappropriate, slightly like fuck, like says a lot of fucked up shit, dude, on
All
purpose.
right. Because like I got to see that then, because I've always stayed away from Cena because everything I've seen him in, down to that fucking Gronk ad that's been playing on every commercial I'm seeing, he just seems so inauthentic, like almost like when he was in WWE. Everything's so inauthentic. It's always
He's
way
good in this.
I'm right here. It's like, dude, just because you
He's
yell
good.
doesn't mean
I challenge you both to watch the show. It's got the best intro of any TV show of all time. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but people are obsessed with it. It's hard R TV show, and it's brilliant. Hey, a couple of quick topics we want to get to really quick. With all this talk, and we've been talking a lot about Martin Scorsese, and obviously his name is been very fluid in the industry. There's another director, a contemporary of his, whose name never comes up, whose background is equally as impressive, if not more impressive. I'm talking about fellow paisan Francis Ford Coppola. You have not seen Francis Ford Coppola for 10 fucking years. He's been selling wine to pay for this self-funded movie called Megalopolis. Now, I don't know anything about this shit. I don't. I know nothing about it. Okay. But he put $120 million Shah of his own money, okay, to make this movie, okay, to get this movie made, okay. And we know very little about it, but we know it's coming. There's not a trailer. Bisho, can we see who the stars are of this?
yeah.
I'm just curious. I think I see some pretty big names here.
Oh
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
You're gonna be
Guys, look at this
excited about
cast.
this one
Okay.
then.
So I don't know who Grace Vanderwall is, but he's got Shia LaBeouf, a very, very good when he wants to be. Aubrey Plaza, who I'm beyond attracted to. Adam Driver, who's hot shit. Chloe Fineman, she's in Saturday Night Live. John Voight, whose car was on Seinfeld. Dustin Hoffman, Talia Shire, Zendaya. The last thing James Caan ever shot before he died, Jason Schwartzman, who is a Coppola. His mother is Talia Shire. Jude Law, Forrest Whitaker, scroll down, B-Show, Kate Blanchett, Michelle Pfeiffer, Oscar Isaacs, Lawrence Fishburne, Giancarlo Esposito, Jessica Lange, James Remar, Balthazar Getty, D.B. Sweeney. My God, just a whole bunch of other people. I mean, Shah, have we forgot about Francis Ford Coppola? And what are your expectations when you even see this as a thing?
I can't fucking wait. What was the last movie he did?
He hasn't done a movie in a really long time.
Yeah, what was the last one though?
The Godfather sequel?
No.
3?
No, yeah.
Maybe?
Bram Stoker.
Oh, he did Bram Stoker's Dracula?
I forgot he did Dracula. In
What?
92?
Oh, dude.
Wow, look at this. But look, we forget about this guy.
Wait, he
Look at
directed
his-
all these?
Yeah, yo.
No.
Are you
Well,
sure?
no, well, hold on. Go to director, Bisha. You got to
Wait,
go
he
to
did?
director.
Coppola directed Jack?
I didn't know he directed Jack.
I didn't know
Holy
that
shit.
either.
I didn't know
Wait,
that.
go back. There was a horror movie. Yeah, that one, Twixt. What's that? Because I've seen
I've
that cover
heard
before.
of that. No, he didn't direct it. He might have produced it.
Yeah,
That's why you got to go to his
What?
whatchamacallit
It's
page.
directed by him.
Oh, he did that. Wow. Okay.
What?
Yeah, he hasn't done a movie in like 15 years. But Shah, look at that. Can we go to his Wikipedia, please? This is just too confusing for me. I want to talk about this real quick. Look at this, Shah. Look at this lineup of movies. Director. I only care about his director because he has produced, and his daughter is an accomplished director for sure. He's got a very famous family. His family includes Talia Shire, Jason Schwartzman, Nicolas Cage. These are all Coppolas, by the way. I'm not even going to go to the old school. I'm just going to go to the modern one. Let's not even talk about The Godfather or The Cotton Club, Rumblefish, The Outsiders, Apocalypse Now, Shah. The Conversation, one of the best movies of all time. The Rainmaker, not very good. Youth Without Youth, not good. Tetro, not good. Twixt, Megalopolis. So this is first movie since that Twixt movie, which I did not know was his. But this is a self-funded $120 million film. Shah, there's no way this isn't going to be something special. I can't even imagine. But have we forgot about him in these conversations as best living director?
Well, we just talked about these $100+ million budgets not making that money back, and this guy's coming out of his. I mean, that's a big risk, dude. That's a fucking.
He sold 10 years worth of wine. His 10 years of his wine company profits.
That's insane, dude. 120 million coming out of your pocket for funding.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
I mean, good luck.
What do you
man.
think of this film, though? I mean,
huh?
What do you think? Can he? I mean, can he bring? I mean, this is the expectations for this are going to be through the roof.
No, honestly, no. I think the only successful movies right now that you're going to see moving forward is these like big, almost like events. Because Oppenheimer and Barbie turned out to be like an event. That shit went viral. It wasn't just going to see those movies. I think like the ones that have certain brands connected to it, like the Nintendo movies and Ninja Turtles and Marvel, as far as like Spider-Man, movies like that are going to do well moving forward. And then horror movies on a lower budget, on a lower scale. But these like big time spectacular classics that are coming out, they're not really making money. Like, I mean, Killers of the Flower Moon, for example, did not do well. The Whale, I don't think that did well, did it?
Whale was a $20 million movie.
Yeah, but
30 million maybe. I think
people just aren't going out to see these type of movies, man. And it's sad because I feel like these are the type of movies that I enjoy the most.
Oh yeah, these on paper, this looks like it can't, and it's very hush hush. Apparently, there's a lot of budget issues, production issues. That's why we can only see black and white pictures of artwork. Bisho, because he created a whole universe, and that's why it's so expensive. Bisho, this has got to pique your curiosity, don't you think?
Yeah, man, I got a lot of respect for him. He and George Lucas come from that school of like late 60s USC grads that were very, well, at least for Lucas at the beginning, Rage Against the Machine, do it yourself, fund it yourself. Yeah. And in fact, he and Lucas started American Zoetrope, a production company to make American
Lifelong
Graffiti.
Friends.
Yeah. So I got a lot of respect for this. And to be honest with you, with an artist like him, I don't think he's necessarily making to look the money back or to make them
make the money back.
This is not about getting a ton of people to see it to make a budget or to make your budget back. This is putting out a lifelong piece of art that he's been developing since the mid 80s.
Yeah, he's been writing this since the mid 80s and saving money for it. Shah, let me ask you a quick question. Line him up against Scorsese. It's kind of a wash a little bit, don't you think? I mean, he's that. I mean, people have been comparing them. He's 84. He's older than everybody. He's an 84-year-old guy who does not need to be doing this. But would you put him in the Scorsese category? How can you not, right? I mean, my God.
I mean, you would have to, but I personally prefer Scorsese over him any day. I mean,
style-wise, you talk about the style-wise. That's more your
style-wise, and just I think he's made better movies. Because again, I haven't seen the Godfather movies. I've seen Apocalypse Now, I believe.
Dracula.
Dracula is probably my favorite movie he's done. Because again, I haven't seen his classics. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely up. He's a fucking, his name rings bells, obviously, So.
Yeah. And he's another person that is kind of irreplaceable. I mean, this cast alone to me speaks volumes. We want to get to two quick things, and then we're going to head over to Patreon. We have a ton of trailers we're going to show there. Announced this week, an Evil Dead spinoff and a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre are coming out. These both were announced at the same time. We don't know much about them. But there are going to be, I believe one is a TV show. B-show, what is the deal? Are they both TV shows or?
No, Evil
Dead. They're both movies. They're both movies.
There was an interesting quote I'm trying to find from the director. He said he wants to make a theater experience that is truly frightening or disgusting. I'm trying to find the quote. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, something to that effect, which is exciting to hear. I'm excited for both. I would like to see. I mean, obviously they're going to go to theaters. I don't know that they're going to streaming. We hope they go to theaters. Shah, do you have are you interested in another Evil Dead spinoff, not a sequel to the other one, but a spinoff and another Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I mean, I was super pleased with the last two efforts, so I would like to see it. I wouldn't even mind another Hellraiser movie on Hulu. Honestly,
Yeah, I think we might.
Why not?
Too. Yeah. Which one are you more looking forward to, Shah? And I'll ask you the same, B.
Honestly, I was pretty impressed with the last Texas Chainsaw. If they actually shoot it in Texas this time, I think would make all the difference in the world. Because the last one was good. I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Aside from the set,
Texas.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely tell it was like an actual set instead of being I still don't understand why they just shoot it in fucking Texas. Texas is not New York, you know. It's not gonna cost you that much to shoot in the rural areas in Texas. So
Yeah, they shot it like Budapest or some shit like that. Was Romania or something
Romania or
like
some
that.
shit. Yeah.
Good Lord. So you're Texas Chainsaw Massacre B. I think you're gonna go Evil Dead every time, right?
Not necessarily. I just read
Oh,
the rumored concept for the Texas Chainsaw movie, allegedly titled Texas Chainsaw Legacy. The film is set to explore, and this is a rumor from a supposed movie insider named Daniel RPK. The film is set to explore the seemingly peaceful facade of Oasis Oaks, a gated community in rural Texas.
oh,
Within the manicured lawns and vigilant security, a protagonist family enjoying suburban bliss becomes entangled in a harrowing battle for survival as they confront the infamous Leatherface and his macabre kin on an abandoned property nearby.
oh! I'm
That
into it.
sounds fantastic.
Shah, I'm excited for. I'm going to Texas.
Yeah, dude. Is
I
this
think
gonna be Netflix again?
I don't know. I think this is supposed to go to theaters. I don't. They didn't say it was in Netflix. Netflix. They, I think that was a one and done for them. But let's see. There's all in early development. We don't know. Hey, before we head out, we want to give a special shout out. Well, not a shout out, but a special in memoriam to the legendary Carl Weathers. He passed away last week after we had recorded. And I said this on social media. No Apollo Creed, no Rocky Balboa. Carl Weathers has been in some phenomenal films over the years. Clearly, he was known mostly for Apollo Creed, but also in Predator. He tried to launch himself as an action star in a movie called Action Jackson, which I liked quite a bit in the '80s with Vanity, who was smoking hot. Of course, people will bring up his cameos in movies like the Adam Sandler film Happy Gilmore. He was a beloved guy. He seemed like a wonderful person. He also had a lot of like he did I think that Arrested Development TV show playing himself. It was like as he's crazy. B show Brian, clearly you loved Apollo Creed. Well, Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers, but he's always Apollo Creed.
Yeah, man. I think two things that I noticed is
The
one,
Mandalorian show. I'm so sorry. How could we forget? He's resurgence with the Mandalorian.
yeah, he was fantastic in both
Fantastic.
parts that because he can play two different parts in a way, and very good in both. Um, the first thing I noticed was how not versatile, but like he kept himself um relevant over like 50 decades because he did the Rocky
Jeez.
movies, and then he did Action Jackson, and then he did Happy Gilmore, and then he's doing other stuff modern. It's like, man, this guy really didn't have too many stinkers as far as I know. And the
No.
second
Predator.
second thing is I forgot how much I liked the Rocky movies as a kid. I watched that Rocky 4 montage after Apollo dies and Rocky's in
Oh
the
yeah. It's
or
Rocky
whatever.
3. When they're running, it's Rocky 3 in the water there. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Oh, when he dies?
when he dies in Rocky 4, he goes for the drive in the car.
Oh, we're
And
not
he listens to
indestructible.
dude, I
Be
went
sure
down and played
to
that on the
get
drums
that
that night.
straight. It sounds like a
Ah,
South Park song, doesn't it?
it does. Like, that's the worst part about it. It's like it's so great for that movie, but like if the guy's like looks like a total cheese ball and everything kind of
Yeah,
ruins it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I actually I kind of teared up like watching it because he just died. And
I
um
know it
when I
sucked.
was a kid,
That
I
was
watched the
shitty
Rocky
news.
movies and I'm like, God damn, why am I crying over Rocky 4?
It just sucked. It just sucked. Shah, what are you most familiar with him? Predator?
Yeah, I mean Rocky definitely first.
Oh, of
That's the
course,
first
yeah.
thing I saw. Rocky, then probably the Predator. I definitely remember him from Happy Gilmore.
Of course,
And
of course.
that's probably it, right? I don't know what else I've seen, but absolute
Yeah,
legend, man. I mean, he was fucking iconic,
yeah.
especially for the Rocky films. I mean, he
Oh
worked with
my God.
Stallone and Schwarzenegger. You know.
Yeah. I mean, and really, I had said this too. A lot of people were talking about his importance for black actors and action stars and stuff like that. Like this dude played the heavy, for to elevate people like Stallone, right? And the franchise. He walked so other people could run. You know what I mean? So Michael B. Jordan could run as his son in the movie and be the lead. I mean, my God, and Arrested Development, I never watched it, but I saw the clips of him. You guys need to watch these clips. They are some of the fun. I mean, he is just so goddamn funny. Um, but an absolute legend. I mean, the outpouring of love for him, B show, that was pretty significant last week.
I was happy to see that because I know he was on Mandalorian recently and maybe,
Oh yeah.
Arrested Development, but I wasn't sure that I thought maybe this would be another one where it's like, oh, Carl Weathers died, Apollo, R.I.P. But it went on for a couple days, it seemed like, and people
Oh
just
yeah,
kept sharing stuff.
yeah.
And wasn't he a pro football player before he got into
Yeah,
acting?
he was a pro. He was a linebacker, and then he went into movies, and he could play. Shah was cool because like he could do a comedy, and he could be like an action star. He kept himself in sick shape. There really wasn't a lot. Nobody liked this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't name anybody that said ever anything bad about him, man.
Oh, he was loved. Yeah.
He wasn't in DC Cab, was he?
No, he wasn't. Bisha, can we just pull up his movies real quick? I know we're trying to get over to Patreon, but I just he died the day the show came out. We most certainly would have given him a lot of attention. Action Jackson's great. Shah, you would love Action Jackson because it's like a trashy '80s action movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, you would love it.
Oh,
No,
shit.
it's great.
He did the movie with Hulk Hogan? What the fuck?
He did.
Assault on Devil's Island. Okay.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah, the comebacks.
He
Did a
played
voice in
Combat
Toy
Carl
Story
in Toy Story.
4. Oh my God, he played a character in Toy Story, guys. I didn't know
Combat
that.
Carl never leaves a man behind. Yeah. He's G.I. Joe.
Oh, Combat Carl. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting depressed. I'm sorry. He was just so great. Like he was just like, and Little Nicky. Oh, that's right. He was in Little Nicky. Oh, yeah. He did. Sandler was very close with him. I didn't know he was in Close Encounters. I don't remember that at all. And I saw that in movie theaters when I was 6, in a drive-in, and cried, which is what you do at 6 when they take you to a movie like that. You cry. But absolute legend. They'll never be unlike him. Groundbreaker. Oh, he was in Magnum Force. Holy shit. I didn't know he was in Magnum Force. My God. Oh, he's in I Love My Wife. I didn't know that either. Yeah, he's in a Werner Herzog documentary. Give Me Your Life. Yeah, he's John Alvison movie. Wow, look at that. Absolute legend. There'll never be nobody like him. And he was loved. And apparently he was like a super dad who loved his family. Just a kind, wonderful, warm person. And we will always remember him for his iconic roles and being a role model, really, to a whole other generation. When there wasn't a lot of people who looked like him in Hollywood. Listen, we have a shit ton of very cool trailers to get to. My God. I mean, I think we're going to talk about some excellent shit. So you want to think about going over to patreon.com/Spitball Media, $5 a month. That'll get you over 1,000 hours of entertainment at your disposal. And of course, we want to give our plugs. We want to plug Deathmatch Outlaws, the Drucifer, Yarcifer, Shosifer, Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube, the Down on the Thundercast, Don Tony and Kevin Castle. Those two crazy kids are back. The Necromaniacs podcast. You want to be checking them out each and every week. And of course, the Inhuman Experience podcast. Ringsiders Wrestling on YouTube. I just recorded with them. I'm not sure if it's out yet. It'll be coming out soon. Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. Garden of Doom. And then we have the Old Guy Metalcast, funkbetty.com, our good friend Mr. Anderson's clothing company. You want to go to funkbetty.com, get yourself some lovely clothes. MJW Games, Cherry Jesus on YouTube and his band Kaiser. Red River Podcast, that's Sam Hoyos and his excellent band Playing Dead. I just recorded with him. It's coming out Monday. I talk some shit. That's all I'm going to say. I talk about music. It's mostly all about music, my music, some of the aftermath of my show, playing again, releasing my hardcore stuff like that. And of course, Bayou Geeks, that's Fat Tay 316. High Marks Podcast, the Midnight Mass Creature Cast, and of course, the Weekly Detour with Anthony Elston and Teddy, and the Guns and Geeks Podcast. Shah, anything happening on the Planet Mondo channel?
I wish there was, man. I've been overworking, and last couple of weeks been kind of rough. So I don't know. Tune in, subscribe, and we'll see where it goes. But I gotta come back sooner than later though, because they're gonna demonetize me. I haven't put anything up.
Oh shit! Get on that. Yeah. And of course, the B Show Brian channel. Anything happening there?
Nothing right now. I had a lot of stuff going on, and this Friday though, subscribe bshowbrian.com, please. Thank you. But I didn't want to throw this one out and forget about it. I'm going to be on with Fatty 316 tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern on, I believe it's the Bayou Geeks. So we're going to talk about some cool shit and
we love
have
those
some
guys,
fun,
of course.
there.
And he's a good friend of ours for many, many years and a close friend of the show. So you want to check out B Show. Now, B Show, I don't want to put you on the spot, but obviously we're going to drop a link if we haven't already for the February Q&A for the end of the month. But will you be doing a follow-up? Because a lot of people, really enjoyed your Patreon coverage of the Vince McMahon trial. There's news every day. This is an ongoing thing. Will you be following up? Do you think you have it in you to drop another one for the Patreon? Because people really did enjoy it. It was excellent. by the way.
I'm going to. What I was trying to do is I saw every podcast in the world coming out and just every little breadcrumb they got, they're putting up a video. And I wanted to kind of wait for stuff to come together a little bit more so there's more to talk
Okay.
about. Because like Patrick Bet David, I don't mind the podcast, but like they're all talking about it today.
Yeah.
And the guys, they don't even know the story. They're like reading the headlines and like, oh, well, how is this trafficking? You can't say that. Admitting he's a creep, but also kind of being like, oh, whatever. So like I got kind of sick of everyone doing a knee-jerk reaction to headlines. And that's why I went through the report too, like the whole thing and tried to outline it
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying. You took the time with it that it deserved, and it paid off because it was intriguing and it was very. I mean, I'm just saying, look, I don't want to put you on the spot, but it was an excellent, excellent podcast. For people that haven't heard it, you should go to patreon.com/Spitball Media. Bish O'Brien does a very, very hard hitting story about the McMahon trial, and covering it almost from of an investigative journalism perspective to the point where I feel like he needs to keep doing it. You know, quite frankly, it was impressive as fuck. So hopefully, you know, you'll be able to stay on that story. And of course, we'll put a link up this weekend for the Q&A for everybody. But listen, we got great shit to talk about in Patreon. Thank you guys so much for a lovely start to February. We'll see you next week at Spitball Media Podcast.